just dive into this because you brought up the winter meetings. Hey, the winter meetings are here, Zach.
Yeah.
The winter meetings are going on right now. And I think the biggest question that is revolving around the Baltimore Orioles is, are they going to make a move? Because there's news out right now of one pitcher, one Dylan Cease, that possibly was on the market during the 2023 season, but no deal was made. But now it looks like that's heating up. And there are some teams, and one of those teams that is in the hunt, apparently, is Dylan Cease, is the Baltimore Orioles for Dylan Cease. So I think we have the video of that, Brad, if we can roll it.
Oh, we do?
Do we?
Nope. Don't have that one.
Well, we're just going to talk about it then.
I thought Zach was going to have that one. My bad.
Oh, we're just throwing. I thought Ryan was going to have it.
Or we can just talk about it too. It's okay, guys. I mean, we can throw videos all the time. Why don't you talk about it? I'll pull it up.
Well, I think Dylan Cease would be a perfect guy. One, because I think mustache nights at the yard would be electric. And then two, I think this is the time to, it's weird to say buy low on a player the caliber of Dylan Cease, but when you look at his contract time is winding down. I believe he has 2 years left. Is that right? Is anyone?
Yeah.
Yes, he's under team control, and that's the reason why the Orioles are interested so much, because you have that control over a top tier pitcher in MLB.
Yeah, and so you have that team control. It's going down, and he didn't put up the numbers we were used to seeing by Dylan Cease last year, and it's hard to put it on him because when you look at the situation he was in Chicago, no one pitched well. The locker room was just always some weird story coming out of people not getting along. Just everything there just was a problem 24/7. So I'm not going to blame him for not pitching well in those circumstances. So this really could be a time to buy low. You're still going to have to give up a lot. It is still Dylan Cease, but you're buying lower than you would have a year ago.
Yeah, and the point of it where it was a year ago is the rumors that were circulating that the White Sox wanted Jackson Holliday, the number one prospect in baseball. And there's no way in hell the Baltimore Orioles were going to do that. Now, having said that, now that the winter meetings are now upon us and the season's over and the Orioles are looking at, well, how can they better their roster? And I bet with the White Sox, they're sitting there going, well, man, we got to lower our price. Because Dylan Cease, he's still, like you said, Zach, he's still going to cost a lot. But this is the type of the deal that would make sense for the Orioles. They do have an idea, and I've talked about this in the past, whoever's cared to listen to my opinion on it. The Orioles are still trying to figure out who exactly is fully untouchable for them. I think they have an idea, actually, of that specifically, but who is going to factor in with their big league team, and who are they willing to give up? Because they're looking at right now at this window, they have a few players that are ready, and we know who those guys are. Jordan Westbrook already broke through. You have Joey Ortiz. What are you going to do there? You have players that you just signed back. By the way, Jackson Holliday is waiting. So you're trying to figure out what makes sense, right? And then Kobe Mayo also I think is one of those untouchables. What are you willing? Oh, I think he is. They love the guy, and they should. The dude just absolutely bangs, Brad. I know that's one of your favorite baseball terms.
Sure is.
Dude can just flat out hit. So the Orioles right now are doing their homework. And they are going to be aggressive. I know that for a fact. They want to be aggressive with a guy like Dylan Cease because they do believe in the bounce back like you talked about, Zach. So we're going to find out. And I know that obviously, who knows, maybe Ohtani signs somewhere else. Maybe Juan Soto's traded, which I do think it's going to be to the Yankees.
Well, I actually put that in a poll here. So we got 25% so far. People are saying Dylan Cease. The Orioles will probably sign them. Ohtani is in there at 50%. And then Yamamoto 25. I actually asked people to write in too. So if you are listening here, put it in the chat. If you ended up selecting that you wanted to write it in, so let us know. But yeah, Joe says Fuji.
Bring him back.
Bring Fuji back.
Let's run it back.
Yeah, for sure. God, we pulled
he's in the bullpen.
Yes. But that's the thing. He wants to be a starter, and that's where the conflict's going to be. But the other part of it is you brought up bullpen, Zach. The Orioles are also looking for a high leverage closer. Brandon Hyde talked about that actually today, and we'll try to put that clip in later on and play this clip that we're talking about. The Orioles need to go get pitching. You can never have good enough pitching. And the reality is, too, they do not have their reliever of the year, their stud in the back end. They're going to go get a pitcher. Starting pitching isn't the overall glaring hole for this team. Their starting pitching is very solid, very good, actually. The bullpen, they're going to need that. But if you can get a guy like Dylan Cease in the process, why wouldn't you? So time will tell, and we're going to have to wait. But I guess they say patience is a virtue. Zach, are you a patient guy?
No,
you're not.
I'm not patient. I want the signings yesterday. But I will say I think the Orioles come away with either Shane Bieber, Dylan Cease, or Eduardo Rodriguez before Christmas.
So that could be a Christmas present.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Do you have the Brandon Hyde footage if you guys want it?
Here it is.
AL Manager of the Year. Pretty good year for you, man.
No, it was a fun year in Baltimore, and unfortunately, it didn't end the way we wanted to, but made just such huge strides here the last couple of years, and we had such a fun team, and we had just an outstanding season. So it's gonna be fun going forward.
It's different coming to the winter meetings now as kind of the Vanguard brand, right? I mean, it's easy to come here as the team that can hide behind the rebuilding phrase. You guys are rebuilt, right?
Well, more people want to talk to you, because when you're rebuilding and you're going through those tough years, it's tough to answer the questions of when it's going to happen, and you just talk about process a lot, and you talk about you feel like you're doing things the right way, and as we get more talented, hopefully it'll equal more wins, and actually that's what happened. We got more talented. We had a good process in place. Mike's done a great job with the roster. And to turn this thing around the way we did, I'm really proud of really the last 2 years of the brand of baseball we played.
Maybe the best thing of it all, too, Brandon, is you got to be there. So often we see a story where the manager, hey, you're great, you develop guys, you're fantastic.
Yeah.
Then you don't get to see the finished product. How important has it been for you to be part of that and see the finished product, and now you're moving forward?
Well, I just, I thank Mike. I mean, Mike and our ownership and the Angelos family. I mean, they put trust in me to kind of see it through. And in the first few years, Mike was very honest about what it was going to be like. And when I got hired, that was the conversation was had where we talked about this is going to be tough for a few years, but he said he wanted me to see it through, and he did. He did everything he told me he was going to do. So I just appreciate him trusting me with our club. And there was a lot of tough nights for a few years, but it's nice to see us turn the corner.
Before the show,
moving up in the program here. I want to go to exactly. This was him just talking about Jordan Lyles and Gibson moving
success.
on.
Well, it is a little bit more toward Mike, but I do think everybody's looking for pitching, and we're not. We will also. What I'm proud about with Lyles and Gibson is they had 2 of their best years of their career with us. So they signed that 1-year deal, and they turned it into better deals. So I'm really happy for Kyle. Was happy for Jordan last year. Those guys did amazing things for our club. So we've had a lot of guys come here that had the best years of their career and then move on, but they've done a lot of really good things in Baltimore. Who we get, I'm not really sure, but I do think every team's looking for pitching. We lost Felix. We're not going to have Felix next year. That's a big loss, and so I'm sure we're going to be in the pitching market.
Well, there it is, right? So the reason I want to let that run for a second, I realized in the beginning it's such a great clip because also shout out to Brandon Hyde again for grinding through and having the opportunity. Because you saw those graphics. Those are some rough years for the boys, really rough. And to see it finally turn around is awesome. Now, the other part he brought up at the end, he doesn't know, but every team's looking for pitching, especially them. And I saw a comment here about there's no guarantee that the mound will ever return to top form. Grab great arms early and often.
True.
Yes, I think that is accurate. I do think that the mountain will be back. I do think he's going to be successful, but you can't count on that moving forward. This past year, everyone thought Dylan Tate was going to come back, which everyone's hoping he still is.
He's pitching on a mound right now.
He is?
Yeah, they actually, 20 minutes ago, Rock reported, Dylan Tate is fully healthy, pitching from a mound right now.
Amazing.
I mean, that right there is like I'm sure you're about to say, fans don't want to hear it, but that is a very solid addition right there. So that alone, yes, I don't think they go after a hater or anything, but Dylan Tate is a very good relief pitcher for the Baltimore Orioles when healthy.
He was great. He was fantastic the season before. He was a big part of that bullpen that when they had success, and that's when everything was really turning around. Rocco
is just,
I agree.
Shouldn't he be in the studio? Can we cut it to Rocco's open chair again?
Yep.
We need to get.
Thanks for showing up to work, Rocco.
We really need to get him a cutout.
Yeah, we
Oh
should.
my God, a Rocco cutout just sitting there would be hysterical. I can edit it to make the arms look super tiny too.
Can we just get the Lord Farquaad again?
Yes.
Just put Rocco's face on it as it drops down off the horse. Oh, we need it because it just imagine just him sitting there. You're a good kid, Rock. We miss you tonight. Happy birthday to your mom, by the way.
Forgot this wasn't my burner account. That's great. That's great.
To finish the Orioles talk, though, Dylan Tate is a fantastic pitcher, but everyone was hoping last year, the two guys the Orioles signed, or two that they were hoping on. Let me backtrack. Dylan Tate and Michael Givens. Givens was hurt a lot, then didn't work out. Dylan Tate never was able to get fully healthy. And so that's something this year the Orioles can't afford to not go out and get a high leverage guy. They can't. And they're going to go and hunt for one. Now, the point of being brought up here, if you had to choose between trading for Cease or signing Hyde, to be honest, I still like the idea of Dylan Cease. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Dylan Cease, well, also Will Smith, I guess, if the Orioles want to win the World Series.
Guarantee that.
You brought that up, Zach, if I'm not mistaken.
He's won the past 3, all with different teams.
Right. So I guess the Orioles have to make the move there.
Statistically, I mean, like, you're guaranteed at this moment.
But I think there's a really good question here. With what Adit was asking, if we're going to go after if they are going to go after somebody like Dylan Cease, what would be reasonable to give up in order to have an arm like that? Like we've talked about, what are the untouchables? Kobe Mayos, Jackson Hollidays. Is there a Colton Cowser trade that makes sense for a Dylan Cease or something like that? Who is it? If you put your GM hat on, what would be the guy? Who would be the couple of guys that you would say, okay, like hate to see them go, but this is a business decision. We need this pitcher. This is what we can do without. What say you on that? Either one of you.
I think no one's going to be happy with the guys giving up in a Dylan Cease type trade. Like there are going to be people upset that we have to give up top prospects because you have to give up talent to get talent. Guys like Cowser, Westberg, Ortiz, Norby. I don't think a Basayo, a Mayo get involved.
Yeah, let's talk about this. I think the untouchables for the Orioles: Jackson Holliday, Basayo, Mayo, and Kerstead. I think those 4 are untouchable.
Everyone else in the not in the organization, but every other prospect, some sort of package is, I think, going to be made, and people are going to be upset about because it's not going to just be, oh, we give up Jordan Westberg and we have Dylan Cease. It's the conversation starts with Jordan Westberg and guys like Dylan Beavers, Max Wagner, going a little deeper into the system. Those are going to be throw-ins. The guys that we still really like and think have high upside are going to still 2 or 3 of those guys on top of a guy like Cowser, Westberg, Ortiz.
Yeah, and that's just the reality of it. And look, I've gotten a chance to watch and follow these guys, know these guys, or most of them, I should say. Really talented players. But then you have to look at it, where's the opportunity going to be? And that's where the Orioles are trying to figure it out. And that's why they've been hesitant, because it's what do you really want to give up when you feel like you have so many lottery tickets and you don't know which one is maybe fully it yet? Like you're thinking Jordan Westberg, it sounds like they are making a decision right now with him over Joey Ortiz.
Do you know Ortiz at all?
What?
Do you know Joey Ortiz?
Yeah. And so Joey's a phenomenal player. Great glove. He could swing the bat. But again, is it the fit of the mold? But Jordan Westberg can do a lot of the exact same things.
I love watching Joey Ortiz play defense.
Yeah. Ortiz
magical with the glove.
He really is. But Westberg, what I tell people, Westy makes a lot of the plays look routine.
Mm-hmm.
And when he gets going, that dude can hit 30 bombs. So
yeah,
just from what I've seen. But so Joey's very talented. But again, the Orioles, they're sitting there. Do we know what we have? And I think that's what they're still trying to figure out with it. And then the White Sox are in a situation where people might ask, well, can you trade some of your big league guys? It's like, yeah, you could. Hypothetically, you could trade one of your already bona fide starters, all-star caliber players. But I don't know where the White Sox are right now because they're kind of in this no man's land. If they're going to trade Cease, it feels like they're in more of a rebuild. And do you want to take that on and then probably have to pay one of those Orioles players moving forward? So time will tell. Should be interesting. The Orioles will be looking for pitching, and we'll have more on that. And actually, Rocco and I are going to have a Rip and Rock coming out this week about it. So Rocco, if you're still on, let's get ready to rumble here. Oh, he's still on. He's a good kid.
Yeah, you know why?
Why?
Because I just put out a recent poll about whether or not this show is better without Rocco. There's one vote that says no. That's Rocco.
You're a good kid, Rock. Hey, there's your spot again.
Yeah.
It's looking good.